So in this video, we take a look at a timeline concerning some of the text messages Lucy Letby exchanged with her colleagues whilst working at the Countess of Chester Hospital. Now before we start today's video, it's important for me to mention that due to the fact Lucy Letby is facing a retrial in the case of child K, no messages will be discussed concerning that individual case. Text messages sent by Lucy Letby in the hours after she murdered babies on a neonatal unit were a key part of the evidence against her. They show how she messaged colleagues after the incident, often informing them of the deaths. In turn, she received sympathy and concern. The texts show how she offered to work extra shifts on the neonatal intensive therapy unit (ITU), and as her murders mounted, they also reveal how Letby reacted as the net of suspicion closed in on her. Here are some of the messages she sent. Monday, the 8th of June 2015. Baby A dies overnight. The day after murdering baby A, Letby messages colleagues saying she doesn't want to go back into the nursery or see the parents, who also had another twin on the unit, baby B. She attacks baby B sometime before June 11th. Letby: "It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Just a big shock for us all. Hard coming in tonight and seeing the parents." She messages one of the nurses to say she is asked to be assigned to work with another baby. "I just don't know how I'm going to feel seeing parents. Dad was on the floor crying, saying please don't take our baby away when I took him to the mortuary. It's just heartbreaking." June 11th, 2015. 3 days after murdering baby A, she messages a manager of the neonatal unit offering to work more shifts, saying she needs to throw herself back in. "From a confidence point of view, I need to take an ITU baby soon." June 13th, 2015. 5 days after baby A's murder and the day before she kills baby C, Letby has an irritable exchange with a colleague over her manager's refusal to let her go back to work in intensive care. She says when she worked at Liverpool Women's Hospital, she found she needed to go straight back and care for another baby. Quote, "Otherwise the image of the one you lost never goes." The colleague disagrees, telling her to take a break. The colleague in a message says, quote, "I agree with her, don't think it will help. You need a break from full-on ITU. It sounds very odd, and I would be the complete opposite." Letby responds, "Forget I said anything, I'll be fine. It's part of the job, just don't feel like there's much team spirit tonight." The conversation continues into the evening, until 23:09 when Letby signs off saying, "Sleep well, kiss kiss." 6 minutes later, baby C falls critically ill. Letby had been assigned to a child elsewhere in the unit, but that night she enters the nursery where baby C is and feeds air into his stomach through a nasogastric tube, causing his collapse. On Sunday the 14th of June 2015, baby C dies. Letby has a text conversation with the same colleague she'd been speaking to the previous night. "Sorry if I was off, just wasn't a great start to shift, but sadly it got worse. I was struggling to accept what happened to baby A. Now we've lost baby C overnight and it's all a bit much." The colleague replies, "Hoping you're going to be okay. This isn't like you. Sending you biggest hugs." Letby responds, "I just keep seeing them both. No one should have to see and do the things we do. It's heartbreaking, but it's not about me. We learn to deal with it. Thank you." On Sunday the 21st of June 2015, baby D dies. The morning after murdering baby D, Letby sends a message to a colleague. "We lost baby D." The colleague replies, "What? But she was improving. What happened? Wanna chat? I can't believe you were on again. You are having such a tough time." The conversation continues later, with Letby saying, "On a day-to-day basis, it's an incredible job with so many positives. But then sometimes I think, how do such sick babies get through and others just die so suddenly and unexpectedly? Guess it's how it's meant to be. I think there is an element of fate involved. There is a reason for everything." Letby tells another colleague, quote, "What I've seen has really hit me," but she brushes off the suggestion that she should see a counsellor. Letby replies, "I can't talk about it now. I can't stop crying. I just need to get it out of my system." On June the 30th, 2015, one of the other nurses messages Letby, saying it is odd that 4 babies have become dangerously unwell within a short period of time. The nurse says, "There's something odd about that night and the other three that went so suddenly." Letby responds, "Well, baby C was tiny, obviously compromised in utero, baby D septic. It's baby A I can't get my head around." On Tuesday the 4th of August 2015, baby E dies in the early hours. That morning, one of the nurses asks how Letby is and if she had been working with baby E, as well as his twin brother, baby F. Letby responds, "News travels fast. Who told you?" "Yeah, I had them both. Was horrible." The nurse responds, "I just really feel for his parents, but for you too. You've had some really tough times recently." That night, before going back on shift, Letby exchanges texts with a colleague who commiserates saying, "You seem to be having some very bad luck." Letby responds, "Not a lot I can do really. He had a massive hemorrhage, could have happened to any baby." On Wednesday the 5th of August 2015, baby F falls critically ill. 4 days after attempting to kill baby F, Letby messages a colleague. In that message, Letby says, quote, "I said goodbye to baby F's parents as baby F might go tomorrow. They both cried and hugged me, saying they will never be able to thank me for the love and care I gave to baby F and for the precious memories I've given them. It's heartbreaking." The nurse replied, "It is heartbreaking, but you've done your job to the highest standard with compassion and professionalism." Letby replied, "I just feel sad that they are thanking me when they have just lost him and for something that any of us would have done. But it's really nice to know that I got it right for them. That's all I want." On Saturday the 26th of September 2015, 5 days after attempting to kill baby G, Letby receives a supportive text from a manager in the unit, and her reply suggests she had been the subject of criticism or suspicion. Letby wrote, quote, "That's really nice to hear, as I gather you are aware of some of the not so positive comments that have been made recently regarding my role, which I have found quite upsetting. Our job is a pleasure to do, and just hope I do the best for the babies and their family." The next day, she messages one of the other nurses. Letby said, quote, "It's all just so rubbish lately, isn't it? And always seems to happen at night when less people. But I guess this is what we do, as sad and as hard as it can be." On Tuesday the 13th of October 2015, baby I falls critically ill. The next morning, Letby texts a colleague who is taking over, saying baby I, quote, "deteriorated a lot this morning and had to be resuscitated." In the afternoon, she messages the nurse who is acting as shift leader to ask if baby I will be transferred. Letby, in a message, said, quote, "I'd like to keep her, please." The shift leader agrees, but a little over an hour later, she messages to say she had to reallocate. Letby asks if something happened. The shift leader replied, "No, was just asked to reallocate so no one has her for more than one night at a time." Baby I died the following week when Letby was again on an overnight shift. She has been found guilty of her murder. Over the next few months, more babies fall ill. In text messages, she complains about understaffing and volunteers for extra shifts, including a shift where she attempts to murder twins baby L and baby M. In early June 2016, Letby connects on Facebook Messenger with a doctor at the hospital. Their messages show a close relationship. Later that month, she murders baby O and baby P. On Friday the 24th of June 2016, baby P dies. Letby murders baby O on Thursday the 23rd of June. She kills his brother baby P the following day. A day later, she asked the doctor she had been messaging for reassurance after one of the consultant paediatricians, Dr. John Gibbs, had been asking questions following another baby's collapse and resuscitation. Letby said, "Do I need to be worried about what Dr. Gibbs was asking?" Dr. A replied, "No, he was asking to make sure that normal procedures were being carried out." The conversation continues with Letby saying, "We've lost 2 babies I was caring for and now this happened today. Makes you think, am I missing something / good enough?" Dr. A replies, "If anybody says anything to you about not being good enough or performing adequately, I want you to promise me that you'll give my details to provide a statement." Letby responds, "Well, I sincerely hope I won't ever be needing a statement, but thank you, I promise." On July the 6th, 2016, the doctor messages Letby giving her details of a meeting which reviewed the deaths of baby O and baby P, saying, quote, "You need to keep this to yourself." Dr. A continues, "There is absolutely nothing for you to worry about, please don't." There are going to be some recommendations based on staffing/kit, but there was no criticism of either resus. He also shares an email from neonatal lead consultant Dr. Stephen Breary, which mentions that the deaths of baby O and baby P will go to an inquest. The next day, he adds, quote, "I know you won't say anything, but this email has to stay between us. Is that okay?" Letby replies, "Of course, 100%. On July 15th, 2016, all staff are emailed to say they will have to undergo a period of clinical supervision in preparation for an external review. Staff are told Letby has agreed to go first. The next day, she texts a colleague to say she has done a timeline of the year to analyse her cases. She says some were seriously ill when she took over, and quote, "some went off within hours or on handover." In a message, Letby said, "Hoping to get as much info together as possible. If they have nothing or minimal on me, they'll look silly, not me." Letby was first arrested 2 years later, in July 2018. It took another 5 years for her to be found guilty of murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder another 6.